How's it going?
Great. How
Good
are
to
you?
see you guys.
It's like you never left.
Right?
I don't know.
It's crazy. Good to be back.
Yeah. It's different though, right?
Different in a good way, though. Yeah, in a good way. A lot older now.
Why is it you?
Old school Patriots?
Yeah, man. My agency sent it over. Yeah, so I love it. It's good.
How would you describe the journey?
It's been fun, man. It's obviously I was here for a brief stint. It's kind of a funny story looking back. I can make some humor of it now. At the time, I was going crazy, but as a rookie, you got to learn the ropes somehow. And I think I ended up benefiting from learning that the NFL is a business real quick. So, I went off, created some value, and now I'm back. Hopefully, to give that value back to the Patriots.
What other lessons did you take from your brief time here that might have helped you in Denver, or obviously come all the way back here?
Yeah, I think there was a very big first impression with the "Do Your Job" slogan. So like that's something you just take. I think anybody that comes here will probably tell you that is the idea of doing your job, and I think it carried through even though we didn't say those specific words wherever else I was. The idea of doing your job and how important that was. I think it always gives you a leg up to guys who maybe don't understand that other places. It's very clear they understand that here, and it starts obviously with Bill. So.
How long did it take from being bummed out about that situation to realizing, hey, I can use this as a learning experience and grow from it?
Yeah, I was forced. I didn't have the time really to sob over it or anything. It was a very quick turnaround. You got to get back up on your feet if you're going to make it work. And so I was forced into having to turn it into a learning experience very quickly. But I think in retrospect, I gave it maybe like a year later. I was able to really appreciate how much of a benefit it was going through that so early in my NFL stint. So ended up being a big benefit.
What's the biggest change you've noticed since you've been back?
Biggest change. Honestly, the way I experienced the facility and the fan base and the coaches, that is the biggest difference to me, because when I was here as a rookie, I mean, everyone I tell you, when you're a rookie, you don't have as much understanding of what the NFL is like. So now, having been in the NFL for a few years and being back, much more of an understanding of why these rules are put into place as far as how we do things here. And so I think that that again is like a big help, because going through it, I understand, okay, why we kind of need to have these certain things in place. And you see, the teams that have been here previously, why they win so much. It's because of these things. So, being a little older now, I think I have a much more solid grasp of that.
What stood out to you about Adrian during the time you've worked with him so far?
Yeah, I love AK so far, man. You could tell he played. You can tell he understands the positions we're in and we're put in on the field. And I always have an appreciation for guys who have understood firsthand what it's like to be playing. So he's got a good knowledge of the game. I mean, he's one of those coaches that can understand how you learn, all the different guys and the different ways they learn, understand how you learn and tailor the teaching to that. So I have an appreciation for that. I love him.
During the free agent process, were you surprised to have the Patriots, and what were those conversations like?
Not surprised. It was a good conversation. It was. I had a good little chuckle. Obviously, having been here previously, and I think also it helped me understand that this was the right move for me. So, I think everything always works out the way it's supposed to, and I think there's going to be a good story about it at the end that I'll be able to tell. So
That first experience here, did that create any sort of motivation, chip on your shoulder? Did that help you in any way?
100%. I'd say it made the chip on my shoulder bigger. You always have a chip on your shoulder going undrafted, and I think I had to have a chip on my shoulder leaving this place. I tried to take what I learned, and then I came back when I finally got picked up. After that, I came back with much more of a business mentality as far as what I was doing and what I was able to give the team that I was on. So, you got to learn quick, man. So you're young and you think that the NFL is going to last forever, but you learn quickly that's not the case.
You eventually go to Denver and you start to play. How much did that improve your confidence? You're able to get on the field and do it. What did that experience mean to you?
Yeah, it helps. I think I got a hefty taste of what it's like to play against elite defenders. Obviously, my first year playing against Von Miller, that was like my welcome to the NFL moment. So I go into practice and there's Von Miller. I'm playing against him every single day. So it helped my confidence a lot. And those practice reps banked helped me feel a lot more confident going out on the field, knowing that I could play against some elite guys.
How about just being a part of this position with Calvin, just the opportunity that you have, how exciting is it for you?
It's super exciting, man. Like I was talking to David. I remember David probably more than he remembers me, but he's like one of the guys I look up to in the league. Obviously undrafted, and you look at his career, it's special. So we got a couple special guys in the room, and then obviously the young guys just got here. So and we got AK in the room now, and Billy, who I think has been here for a few years, and it's cool getting to know him, another former player. So I'm super grateful to be a part of the room, man. It's a blessing.
How different is David now?
I wouldn't say he's that different. He's a leader, obviously, so he's grown and matured, and I think ways that he could probably explain better than me. But I look at him as a leader, man.
Calvin, the opportunity to start here, how attractive was that for you in free agency?
I mean, it was attractive to come to a place where I felt like I had something to offer, and I still feel like that, and I'll leave it to the coaches to decide where that is and how that looks. But I want to be a part of helping the team win, man.
Do you feel like you're better left or right side?
I think one of the benefits I had being coached by Mike Munchak is real early in my career, he started me playing both sides and learning how to play both, developing both of those toolboxes. So, they're both positions that are very different. A lot of people will tell you that too. It's not as easy as just flipping your feet and you can just play if you can play one side. But there's different skills you gotta develop to play both, and I'm working to continue to develop both of those. So. Wherever that looks like on the field, the coaches will decide, but I'm happy to do either.
When you started a career on 7 games last year, what kind of clicked for you in Denver that allowed you to kind of get that opportunity to 7 games?
Yeah, as an offensive lineman, you want to find a rhythm. So when you start playing games consecutively, that helps you get in the rhythm. Okay, what do I do pre-snap? How do I study my opponent? What kind of things do I prepare for? How am I going to set them? How are we going to use the snap count? Or are we away? Are we home? You start getting a rhythm for those kind of things, and there's more rhythm to be found. But I think that's what started helping is you get into the rhythm of the season. You got games coming up. You're playing, and it helps you get more comfortable with those things so you can focus on the task on the field, which obviously the most hard part, most difficult part.
Calvin, you mentioned Mike Munchak, and you said Billy and Adrian as former players, and you like working with them. What is it specifically about being coached by someone who's been there?
Yeah, I think there's a level of understanding. So, I mean, when a guy has played on the field before, and maybe it's hard to communicate what the actual, how that actually displays for each individual coach. But I think when you are coached by somebody who's been on the field, there's just a level of understanding they have of the positions you're in, so then they can tailor their teaching to, the specific positions that each guy is in, So it's something I appreciate. There's been greats that have done it without ever playing, obviously, and one of them was here. So, I think for me, it's something I appreciate about the guys I've worked with, and I've seen it be really helpful, especially when you're going against the really good rushers and trying to understand how to break them down.
That first time you were here, it's like 2 weeks, right?
It might have been less.
Might have been less. Do you remember? I mean, did you ever ask what happened?
I never asked what happened, and I can speculate what happened. I think it was a matter of numbers, and I was a rookie, I was undrafted, didn't have a lot of money guarantees or whatever. So, who knows? Those are decisions that are made way above my pay grade. But I think it ended up working out because here I am. So I'm happy about that.
And now, as someone who enjoys emojis myself, can you explain what the hush emoji is?
Yeah. So the hush emoji is. You could probably figure this out, I guess, but it's about being an underdog and like the idea of silencing people not with the words but with what you do after the emoji, for example. So like the emoji is a representation, I think, a lot more than people realize, but it's silencing doubters and rising to the occasion when you're not expected to, stuff like that. So it might have a different specific meaning every single time, but that's the general the place it's coming from. Yeah.
Anyone among teammates or coaches you're connecting with particularly quickly? I mean, you got plenty of time to go. I'm sure you'll get to know a lot of guys, but off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, Riley's somebody who's obviously been in the league a long time, done a lot of good things in the league, and I've tried to. Well, I didn't really have to try because he's a super nice guy. He was here, right? He already met with you guys. Oh, I don't know, but he real here in this room. Yeah. super affable guy. So he's kind of been really helpful. We talked a lot about, a lot of the guys he's gone against, positions he's been in over the years. So he's kind of like a big brother in a way. So he's somebody that I've appreciated our time.
You guys trade bond stories?
Our bond stories are a little different, but we traded him stories. He obviously has more stories than me, but we had some good stories about Vaughn.
Final question?
Anything else fans at home should know about Calvin Anderson?
I'm a hard worker. I know that the hard work, and this is something that'll probably resonate with the Patriots fans. I know that the hard work comes first. So, there's a lot of good things around being a part of a football team and playing at this level. But nothing but comes before working hard and making sure that we win. So I know that's the most important thing. I understand that. And, I'll never be putting myself before the team. I'm just not one of those guys. That'd be my tidbit. Also, this might be cool for you. I don't know if you guys know this, but I still have to show the guys. This might have been, I don't know if they reported on this when I first came, but I can solve a Rubik's Cube behind my back. I don't know if any of you guys know that. But one of these times I'll bring it out and show you guys. Yeah. We'll do that. Yeah.
How do you do that?
It's like a long, complicated explanation. There's a video. So I my rookie year, I actually signed a brand ambassadorship with Rubik's, first pro athlete ever, and it's because I came up with a different way to solve it, blindfolded. This is going to sound so nerdy, but there's a subsect of guys who solve the Rubik's Cube, people who solve the Rubik's Cube, that do it without looking, and there's a couple different ways to do it, and I came up with like a new way. So there's a cool explanation video on YouTube if you guys want to look at it.
Can you feel anything, or if you can't see colors, how do you?
Not feeling. It's more about memorization and a little bit of probability and then some math involved. So it's you guys remember matrices from back in the day?
Yeah.
So you try to store the numbers of, and I'm saying numbers, but you number the cube off as if you were numbering a phone. And then if you think about Sudoku has 9 boxes. Each box has 9 smaller boxes. You're trying to get 1 through 9 in the box while getting 1 through 9 across 3 boxes and vertically down 3 boxes. So if you think about the cube, each individual box you can think of as like a Sudoku box. And so instead of the colors, you can think of them as numbers. Then you wrap the Sudoku boxes around in that cube form, and then you can remember the numbers because they're always correlated to another side with numbers. So for example, a corner piece would be 3 on one side, a 9 on one side, and then a 1 on one side. So it's 3, 9, 1, no matter where it's mixed up in the when you mix up the cube. So then you remember the numbers in 2 sets of matrices. One of them is a 3 by 2, and one of them is a 2 by 2 for the middle stripe pieces. And then there's a whole bunch of explanation left that involves some probability, but that's the general basis of how you do it. It's unnecessary, unnecessary math. But
Do you know your fastest time?
my fastest time regular without like the behind the back is 13 seconds, 13 point something, and then blindfolded probably in the 20s. But there's guys in the world that can do it in 4 seconds, so I'm not up there.
Is this
look at it
you at the
before-
Jets?
That's the video.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's a video. Wow, that's so long ago. Yeah, it's been a minute.
20 journalists here, you lost them at math.
All right. Yeah, I'm the opposite of most people. I was a mathematical economics major, so I liked math. I didn't like science. So.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, of course,
Thanks,
guys.
man.
Appreciate you guys,
Good
man.
meeting you.
Next time we leave with that story.
Yeah, bring it in.